Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Hui Mei. In this video, I'll be talking about why I'm only couchsurfing with ladies now and basically relating to you my worst couchsurfing experiences. If you're new to the couchsurfing scene or have couchsurfed before or are contemplating couchsurfing at least once, then I hope these stories will not scare you. Like this video and comment down below if you have any questions about couchsurfing and also what you feel I should have done or I could have done in those different situations that I'm going to spill the tea to later, and share this video with your friends and subscribe to my channel. I have a few stories to share with you guys, and I will not be naming names or locations. I first arrived at that place, and then it was a couple who was hosting me, and we were having dinner together. And there were also other couch surfers, as in the surfers, not the hosts. And we were just hanging out, getting to know one another, and the couch surfer hosts and their friends as well. So it was just a very welcoming kind of atmosphere, and I felt comfortable, kind of, as in not really with the friends, but then with the hosts themselves I'm like okay. But then as in the guy host did make me feel like a bit not super comfortable from the way he was looking at me, but I was like, no, it's okay. I mean, he has a wife, or at least a fiance. I can't remember whether they were like married already or going to get married, but I mean, they had a house together and stuff. Fast forward through the night, we had a good conversation, went home, and then the ladies left first, and then we went home and got settled, and then soon after the guys came back, and the husband, or the guy, yeah, host was, I shall just call him Alex, alright? So Alex was pretty like high from drinking. I had my own room with a small bed, like a single kind of bed, and I think it was for the kid in the future if they were to have any kids, but then they could just let me have it for the time being. And I was very thankful I had my own space, and I usually, the rule of thumb for me is to always lock my room door, as in just always keep my room like out of bounds when I'm asleep, right? I mean, because I mean, if you're letting me stay in the room, then of course you would allow me to lock the room door if I'm asleep. I was so exhausted and I was asleep. And then the next moment, before I knew it, when I opened my eyes, because I felt something or like someone moving next to me, and I was like, I thought I was alone. Like, what's going on? And apparently that guy host was getting onto my bed, and he was half naked, like he was not wearing anything except his boxer briefs. And I was just very shocked because he was a big guy, and then he was just climbing onto the bed. I was really shocked and scared at the same time. And the thing is, he wasn't responsive when I was like confused and whatever. He wasn't responding. He was just like getting onto the bed. And so I felt a bit better that he's not responsive, but still like super shocked. And then immediately I got up. I think I rolled and then I got up, and then he was just there lying there. And I went to switch on the lights, and he was just there. He didn't respond. He didn't open his eyes. Super thankful, because like, can you imagine? I really didn't know what to do though. Like, should I have woken him up? As in, if I were to wake him up, then we are in like an enclosed place. It's dangerous. What if his wife were in on it, or maybe that's not his wife? You know what I'm saying? Like, just so many questions just like popping in my brain, and I was freaking out. And then I switched on the light. I was wondering whether I should wake him up, but at the same time I was like, no, I think that's a bad idea. I wanted to just open the door and go into the living room and find somewhere else to sleep or rest. I was looking in the living room, creeping around, not creeping, just walking around, just like, oh my god, like, how do I fall asleep now? As in, where am I supposed to go? There wasn't a couch. I don't remember there being a couch. So what, am I supposed to sit down at the dining area for the entire night? And so whilst I was like panicking and walking around, I looked into the room that they're supposed to be in, and the couple, and then obviously the guy wasn't there. And then I was just like looking there and hoping that the wife or something would be awake and get his man get her men into the room. And so I think by instincts or something, the wife woke up, and then like probably looked around, like moved around, because I was like peering in, right? So I noticed that her husband wasn't around, and then she peered out the door, into the door, and I was there, and I was like, I think I whispered, you know, like that her husband or whatever was in my room. And then she was like, what? And then after that she just like, you know, in a daze kind of like got up, and then she went into the room, and then basically tried to wake him up, or kind of like, you know, make him at least able to move to their room. She told me to lock my room door after that. I went back into my room, and then when I woke up in the morning, they told me that, you know, he was drunk, and he was out going to the toilet, into the common toilet, and then he just went into the wrong room. But to me, I was just very confused because there was a toilet in their room. So there are two toilets in the house, right? So one is in their room and one is in the common space. So I'm thinking like, why would you not use the toilet in your room? It's not that your wife is using it. So I'm just super confused. I mean, okay, maybe you have a certain toilet that is your preference, but to me it was just like confusing. Like, why would you not use your toilet in your room and just go out into the other toilet and then go into the wrong room and just sleep with your guest? That's just, I can't imagine if I didn't wake up. That would be horrifying. In the morning, if I were to find him beside me, I would be like, what just happened? But I woke up, you know, when he moved onto the bed. I'm just really thankful that nothing happened, and I woke up immediately and just got out of that situation. But that was a horror story, number one. Also, along the same vein, or on the same topic of family man, I was couch surfing at a place with a family, and then the guy was the main one liaising with me, and then he was the one who accepted my request. And I think when we were hanging out and stuff, then I was in his car, and then he touched my leg. It was like late at night, and then he put his hand on my leg when he was talking about something, on my thigh rather, not just leg, you know, not just calves or whatever, it's my thigh. And I was very uncomfortable, as in, but I'm thankful that he removed his hand. I can't remember how it went exactly, but I just remember that he had his hand on my thigh for a bit. And I was just like, I think I moved away probably because I wouldn't tolerate any of that kind of touching that is uncalled for. That was just weird, and I was just super cautious throughout the entire trip. But why do you have to make me feel that way? Why do you even have to do that? Anyways, that's story number 2. And story number 3, what happened was it wasn't really like a couch surfing story, but I was crashing his place, and I kind of got to know him for a few days, and I knew that he had a partner. So I was like, okay, you know, somebody was a partner. Once again, naive me was like, you have a partner means I'm good. You wouldn't do anything stupid, and I'm safe. But guess not, because he was okay. I was in that situation, which was like, due to weather conditions, I couldn't move anywhere except to continue staying in this foreign place, and then he was just always trying to get me to sleep on the same bed as him. But the thing is, there was a couch and there was a bed. So in this instance, it's very different from my previous story. I think in a video I'll probably link here or here, where I talked about this guy I shared a king size bed with. So this one is very different from that scenario, because there was a bed and there was a couch. So there was no reason and no excuse and no whatsoever for me not to sleep on the couch, or, you know, somewhere else away from him. And the bed wasn't big as well. So I mean, like, so obviously I would just be like, oh, let me just sleep on, like, just crash on your couch. I'm perfectly fine with that. But then he said that it's not in his culture for the guests to sleep on the couch. So fine. So I slept on the bed because he really insisted on me sleeping on the bed, which I kind of refused because I didn't want to. I was like, I'm comfortable sleeping on the couch, but he just slept on the couch anyways. So I was there for a few days, and then on subsequent days he was just asking me why am I not comfortable sleeping on the same bed, and, you know, we're all adults and we would know what we're not supposed to do, and you know, it's basically like, yeah. But then the thing is, I was okay with sleeping on the couch. I insisted on sleeping on the couch. So why are you pressuring me to sleep on the same bed? Like, I just don't like it. I don't think your culture actually tells you that you should pressure your guests into anything. And the thing is, that night when he was pressuring me about, like, when he was at the couch and I was on the bed, right? He came back into his home drunk, and then obviously I wouldn't say yes. As in, who knows, at that point in time you might be fine, but then in the morning, what happens if you're like wrapped around me? What can I do? I mean, you could say that you are sleeping, or you could say that, oh, you were drunk, you don't know what happened. Then how would I would have no way to defend or help myself in any instance. Like, I basically would have nothing valid on my side. And so I definitely rejected him in terms of saying like, oh, sleeping on the same bed. I was like, no. But that pressuring, that constant pressuring of being on the same bed, I was so uncomfortable, especially because that happened after I had that incident happen, which I told you the video was linked there, right? And in the description box below. Yeah, that was really terrifying. Like, I didn't want to repeat that incident ever again. It was a hard lesson learned, and I did tell him that, you know, I had that experience and I just don't want it to happen again. And he didn't seem to understand, but I'm thankful that he didn't do anything physical or violent or whatever, or force his way onto the bed or anything. So that was great. But I tried my best to leave that place as soon as possible, and so I just left ASAP. Another instance was when I was couch surfing with this guy. I was sleeping in the same room but on separate places. Like, so basically, it's like a separate bed. And he was just constantly talking about couch surfers who are open and had sex with him. And I just felt very uncomfortable because it just feels like you're just pressuring me. I know this might not be your intention, but for you to keep saying and relating such stories made me feel like I had to do it, you know? But obviously, as in, this is not even in my like value system to just do casual sex or anything. So that's just out of no way. I'm just like thinking, like, what is he expecting? You know what I'm saying? What is he expecting from couch surfing? Does he have ulterior motives? And if so, I cannot enjoy myself fully, because I would just be thinking about you having your ulterior motives, right? So why are you doing this, you know? So I kind of told him that I was having my period, which was not a lie because I was really having my period. But I think having a period kind of turns people off. So I hope that worked. And also, I mean, I wasn't lying. So I just was like having my period the whole time, which wasn't a long time anyways. But yeah, that was what got me through the entire thing. And I just felt so scared the entire time. Now that I've related all these horror stories to you guys, why am I still on couch surfing then? Honestly, I love finding out all these things like places to visit and stuff from locals. Of course, I will do a ton of research on my own, but I would rather the locals tell me, you know, what it is really like. It will let you know like what's the real deal in their country rather than me strutting it out on my own. Making new friends while solo traveling feels incredible. So I don't know whether I have told YouTube, but I have written it probably in my blog that I meet like friends that I kept in touch with from my first solo travel trip a few years ago, and I attended their wedding in another country after. Plus, it takes away immense stress from the bank because I'm, after all, still a student. But that's not to say you don't do your part as a good couch surfer. So as a good couch surfer, what you can do is to probably bring some souvenirs or snacks from your country, and or treat your host to a meal or meals. And of course, be a good sport, be a good friend, and just hang out with your host. What's evolved in my travels as well, from initially on my exchange where I just wanted to do everything and anything touristy, and I changed to just basically enjoying and immersing myself in the experience of being in another country and just seeing new things. So that's why I tend to stay a bit longer when I'm in a foreign place compared to previously when I just touch and go everything and I pretty much forgot where I went to. Having said all that, I've still had wonderful experiences on couch surfing. People I've visited or stayed in their houses and they've come over to Singapore to find me and hang out together. Just make sure you look at the reviews and it's trusted reviews, and if it's bad reviews and you're able to accept them, the things that are mentioned or have been mentioned in those bad reviews, then feel free to just hop on to the couch surfing life. Like this video and comment below. Share this video with your friends and subscribe to my channel. I'm Hui Mei reporting from Singapore. And cut!